welcome to Stacy's Homestead, and today we're going to be canning taters. So we have some yellow taters here. I think they're called Yukon Gold. Got them from Costco, and we're going to wash them, then peel them, and then start to canning. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to wash up these taters. These are yellow taters, and I already have some canned with skin on. So we're going to peel these ones and can them with skin off this time. So we'll wash them up, and then we'll get to peeling. Okay, we washed our taters, and now we have a bowl of water here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just peel them real quick, and then we're going to cut them up and then put them in the water. So the water will help keep them from browning and then help with the starch also. Remove some of the starch. But Yukon Gold taters don't really have a lot of starch. They're a good in-between potato. If you want less starch. And then you can still mash these pretty decently. Fry them up. And they stay nice and firm, a lot firmer in the canning process. Okay, so once we peel them, I just fling my peels all over the counter. It's fine, I'll wipe them up. I should have like a bowl. Okay, so once we peel these, then we're gonna slice the taters, not too small because we don't want them to become mush. So we want to probably about 2 cuts, 3 slices, like that. See? Put them in that water, and then just cut it down the middle, and then 2 cuts, evenly spaced apart, and that gives you the proper size for canning. You could do it smaller, but they're just gonna get too soft and a little you get more starch in your jar. So let's do one more tater here. I just used all my gold ones up, and then I have a couple of Idaho potatoes canned. So I need to get some Idaho taters on the shelf too. But we'll do these since these are the only ones I found, actually. All right. Okay, now slice it in half. Slice it in half again, and 2 cuts. 1, 2, and that's perfect size. Perfect, like stew size. Because you can always cut them up after you take them out if you want them smaller. This is the size that I cut to boil taters as well when I'm making mashed taters. Alright, so I'm going to do all these and we'll get back to you. Alright, so we're going to start loading our jars up. We got our lids steeping in boiling water, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to try the recommended seasonings in the all-new ball book of canning and preserving. And they recommended salt, pepper, rosemary, and thyme to add. Now remember, you can add any seasonings to any of your canning, and it will not change the time. The only thing that changes your processing time is if you were to add different vegetables together or meats together. Then you would have to process for the product in the jar that requires the longest processing time. For instance, if I were to add meat to taters, then that changes it. It's no longer 40 minutes. I have to can the meat times because meat takes the longest. If if you were doing carrots, carrots are only take 30 minutes. But if I add taters to it, that changes it. I have to do tater times, and that's 40 minutes. Do you understand? I hope you do. I hope that makes sense. So, and these are low acid foods. All low acid foods require pressure canning to make the food safe to eat. And you pressure can for your altitude. So look up your altitude, and every canner comes with a weight, and each altitude has a different weight you would put. So most canning books suggest always say 10 pounds of pressure, because that is the most popular altitude, is 10 pounds. But it just depends on your sea level, so you have to look that up. There's 15 pounds of pressure that some people have to use, and then some people have to use 5. But in your cookbooks, it's going to say 10, because that is the most common altitude for most people that are canning. My altitude is 10 pounds, so that's what I use. All right, so let's get this loaded up. And you can put however much you want of any seasoning. Now in the ball book, it says a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of, or half a teaspoon of rosemary, half a teaspoon of thyme per quart jar. So that's what we'll do. You can give or take any seasoning you want. I'm only going to try this on 2 since I've never had it before. So let's get the seasonings going here. All right, so we're going to do a half a teaspoon of thyme. One. I like to add my seasonings in first because I forget sometimes. All right, so we got our thyme in. And then let's do the salt. We'll do a teaspoon of salt. I don't like measuring. I'm just going to use there's a teaspoon right there. Boom. Teaspoon. There. Put a little bit more, because taters need a lot of flavoring. All right. So we got that going on. Let's do the rosemary. I have a little bit of dried rosemary. Do about a half a teaspoon. I like to eyeball it. There we go. I wish I had my fresh rosemary plant. I don't know why. It just died on me. So, all right. And then let's put some pepper in there. And now I'll do the pepper with the measuring, because I don't want to sneeze everywhere. I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of pepper. A half a teaspoon of pepper. You can add anything else to this if you want. But I really want to just try this recommended seasoning. All right. And so what I'm going to use, it says any broth, chicken or vegetable. I have turkey broth. I canned this with a tattler lid, December 2018. It's in a wax pen. 2018. So, and it's still holding really good with the tattler lid. So those things hold real well. So it's over 2 years. Let's see if you can hear the sound. That was a good seal. You'll hear it like tiny sucking sound. All right, we're gonna put my turkey broth because I have tons of turkey broth. So we're gonna do turkey broth. I have chicken broth, but I want to save it. I'm gonna use up my turkey broth because I just do. All right, let's add these in here. And we have to leave 1 inch head space, but let's shake it a bit and see if we can get any more in. Yeah, you can shake them down and get another one in there. These are gonna shrink, they're gonna swell during the cooking process, and then they're gonna shrink. So, there we go. And let's see, let's add one more. There. All right, that one's done. And then let's put this one in. Now my turkey broth is really rich, so I'm gonna add some water in to dilute it a bit. So I'm gonna put half the jar, less than half, probably a quarter of it with water, and then put the turkey broth in. Let's shake it up a little, let it settle. Okay, that's good. I'll get some water. All right, I got some water. I'm gonna add just a bit of water, about a quarter of water to this. Now, we're gonna try to debubble these as well. Debubbling really just helps your jars not to siphon. If you forget, it's not the end of the world. Your food is still good, okay? Don't worry about that. It's more so to keep proper head space, to help your jars last a lot longer on the shelf, of course. Also, but I mean, I've forgotten to debubble a lot of times, and I have jars that are like 4 years old still that I didn't debubble, and they're still sealed and good on the shelf. It's more for, you know, to help you not get any siphoning, to have the proper headspace, to have really pretty jars. And yeah, I mean, when you're boiling, the air is released, you know, it vents the air, and so the air is displaced by steam. So all that's left in here is just empty space. If there's anything left in here, if you have enough fluid to displace the air, you should have just empty space because the steam takes over. So that's why it's important, I believe, to not do that dry canning for a long shelf life, you know, because you need enough steam to displace the air. And if you're just taking a chance for a really short shelf life when you dry can, that's my opinion. Now, I tried it once and my jars didn't last very long. I mean, they just popped. So I was like, I'm not taking that chance anymore. So I always add liquid. Now let's get the turkey broth in. Leave 1 inch. It's important for that inch because I'm going to use tattlers. I have to have an inch. 1 inch head space. There we go. It looks real pretty. Alright, now I'm going to debubble because I want to keep my chances of siphoning down. That's the main reason why I always try to remember. I use a chopstick. There we go. And then That way I like to have my 1-inch headspace. I really like a pretty jar, so, but like I said, it's not the end of the world. You forget to do this. I just got stuff on the rim. We're gonna take that one out. I don't like things out of the jar. It already has that herb on it. That's okay. We'll put in that one. All right. We'll put in a smaller one. I have a tinier one. We'll put in there. There we go. There we go. Got that tiny one in there. All right. Now let's take some. We're going to take some vinegar and wipe the rim of the jar, especially since I just spilled all over it. I like to tear up, I'm funny, I tear up little pieces and use little pieces at a time. All right. Now let's put, I'm going to put a regular lid on one. And that's finger tight. They're both finger tight. And with the easy seals, I have, all my tattler lids are easy seals. Fingertip tight till you see that resistance. The easy seals are the same way. And you do need to tighten the easy seals when you take them out. So, I don't know, someone who's telling people that you don't need to tighten them. And when you take them out, you do. The easy seals still have to be cranked down. It's the, when you take them out, it's the flats that don't need to be tightened. The easy seals are, call them easy seals mainly because it's you can do the fingertip tight and not have to worry about the back off and stuff. So, but when you take them out, with all tattler lids, you have to tighten them. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more since I lost some headspace on that. I didn't check this one. Let me check this one. So, in my canner is a Mero canner, and it takes, I'm gonna put a little bit more in here too. My canner is a Mero canner, and it takes 3 quarts of water. And I always put the water in first because I don't want to forget, right? So that's a good idea. Always put your water in first so you don't forget. All right, now let's put the tattler lid on. Put it on like that. Put the middle, I like to put the middle bands in the hot water too, just to warm them up some. Center your lid, put this on, the ring on, hold it. You should get about 3 turns. Then once it turns like that, then you just tighten it till that lightly. Okay, I'm gonna start, go ahead and turn my heat on my canner here. Get that heated up. All right, let's do the rest. So these ones, I'm gonna do my own little concoction now. Okay, so we tried the thyme ones. Now I'm gonna do a soup starter one. So whatever my most common soup seasonings are, which is garlic. Like I like to do clam chowder, right? So this would be good in clam chowder. Some garlic, a teaspoon of garlic, We're gonna just do 2 of them like this. A teaspoon of salt. And I don't measure salt like that. Just a teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of me is like about that much. Alright. Put the salt in. Now we got some onion powder. A little bit of onion powder, clam chowder, right? I'm going to put a teaspoon of onion powder. There we go. And let's do some chives here. I have my own canned green onions I like to use for not canned. I have my own dehydrated green onions I use for cooking. So I'll use this one for canning. It smells real good. Alright, let's put a pinch of chives in. A good amount. I like chives. Put chives in here. Alright, so we got our soup starter here, ready to rock and roll. I'm not going to add pepper. Because I do that in my soups. So let's load the taters up here. And that's my basic soup starter. Shake it up just a bit. Get them Stead'n good here. A couple more in. There we go. A couple more in there. Let's do this one now. Herbs de Provence. Sometimes I would add that. Maybe I'll do it. I don't want to put it in this my basic soup starter. I'll put it in another one. Alright, let's shake this one up. Like a puzzle, they all fall into place here. Okay. That's good. Alright, so this one's done. Let's go ahead. Oh, we're going to do half or fourth or quarter of water. And do some turkey broth. This is turkey bone broth. I cook it bones and all. Bones and all. So a quart did 4 quarts. So that's interesting. Good to know there. Let's debubble. See if we can get all the water in. So when you're using regular flats, you can be a little bit forgiving on the headspace, but not with tattlers. Tattlers, you have to be 1 inch. Can't, there is not so forgiving on that. Alright. Alright, so there's that one. Let's push that in there. Okay, that's a little perfect here. Let's go ahead and take one out. We don't want that to be messed up. All right. Oh, wrong jar. Wrong jar. I bet you I can can in this turkey broth jar. if I needed to, because I only just took it out. All right, let's take a little bit from that one and pour it in the other one. Trying to do it without taking the chives out. There we go. All right, there's that one. Let's put the lids on now. Let's get a tattler. Put it on this one. Oh, let's wipe the rim first. I'll wipe the rim first. And so I think I have, yeah, I think it's just enough for 7 quarts. I think I have enough left. All right, so let's put the tattler lid on this one. Hold it down. Ready? So we got 1, 2, 3. And a slight turn. There we go. And this, we'll do a metal flat on this one. Make sure we don't have 2 here. And on tattler, sometimes these gaskets stick together. You gotta watch for that too. Fingertip tight. Alright, let's see what we can get in here. Now we're gonna do our salt. I think we'll do plain, just regular taters. Let's just do regular taters and water and salt. Water and salt. Just for just regular plain stuff. Well, maybe just 6 quarts. Maybe just 6 quarts of taters, I think. Okay, let's shake this up. We'll try to get as much as we can in here. Do this one, shake this one up. There we go. Yeah, I think it's 6 quarts. Yeah, right on. I think we're right on the money here. I have like 4 more left in here, and this is it. This is the last of them. Let's get you in there. Come on. Let's shake you up. We have like 2 taters. Let's shake you up. Get you in there. There's an empty space down there. I see it. And push it in there. There we go. There you go. There. There, yes. Yes, we got them all in. Perfect. And let's just add water to these ones. Okay. All right. I'm displacing my taters and oiled. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right, so we got them all in the canner and we're gonna put the lid on. And check, make sure our vent's clear, our gasket's nice and clean. Now this is a silicone gasket on the mirror. You don't need to wax or oil a silicone gasket. Just wash it with water and you're fine. It's the rubber gaskets that you have to oil. The silicone you don't. I've had this for well over 10 years and I haven't never oiled it and it works perfectly fine. Make sure your little thingy's all clean. I have a video on how to make sure your weight is clean. It gets guckies out every time. So you gotta clean that real good or it won't spin. All right, so we got the lid on. We're gonna bring it up until you see a steady stream of steam coming out. And then once you're gonna time that for 10 minutes. And then you're going to, after the 10 minutes is up, put your weight on. Then you wait until you hear it go. And once you hear it go, you start your timer for your processing time. But you don't start none of the other stuff counts as processing time. Only after your weight starts jiggling, that's when you start your timer. Okay? So that's how you do that, and we'll come back when it's all done. Okie dokie, so our 40 minutes is up. We're going to take them out of the canner, nice and slow, and see what we got. Alright, let's take the lid off, and remember to remove it away from your face so the steam doesn't go in your face. There we go. Oh. There's hissing. Let them hiss for a little bit. A little hissing on a couple. This one is not bubbling. Let's tighten this one down. I think this one's already sealed. Let's tighten it. It's a tattler, so we have to tighten. With flats, we don't. I'm hearing hissing in there, so I don't want to do it. Take them out just yet. And be safe, on the safe side, and wait just for a second. Alright, the hissing has stopped. Nice and pretty. These are the plain ones with no spice. Here's the herb one. It's not hissing. You always get siphoning here and there. If it still seals, you're good. I think it's this one that did. Tighten these down. And one more to go. The hissing one. It's just a little siphoning. Not much. And it looks like it's just water, so. With tattlers, you can tell when they seal because they start to concave, and they're all looking like they're pulling to concave. So that one's already concave. That one is. This one is. It's going concave. Yep, it's sealed. I could tell. And then the other two will ping in a little bit. But there's our taters, and we're all done with that. Alright, so it's the next day, and let's check the seals. That's good. If you can hold it up, and it doesn't come off, it's sealed. That one's good. This is the one that did a bit of siphoning, not much. It only siphoned a little. Your taters absorb liquid, so but looks like this one's sealed too. See, you can pick it up by the lid. It's all good in the hood. You know what I mean? So this one's sealed. That's good. You can see it's concaved. I turn the light on. Forgot to turn the light on. Sorry, y'all. It's early. You see it's concaved, and there's a little droplet inside, and then the rubber is smashed all around the outside. Just make sure you wash the tops of these. Looks real nice. Let's do the last one. That one also looks real good. That's good. And we just gotta wash it up now. So all our tattlers sealed, every jar sealed. Let's wash up with some nice warm soapy water and put them on their shelves. So we'll just talk to you later. Bye-bye.